Hey everyone, a nerd named Mark here. I really hope this video turns out good because I'm actually filming directly on my phone with my mic plugged into my tablet for the audio, and I'm going to try and sync this up and try to make this review. And then I'm going to use my tablet to edit everything because my PC is still, I ordered the parts and then I got a wrong set of RAM that wasn't compatible with my computer. So now I gotta wait till Tuesday. And I'm like, but it's Sunday, it's Mother's Day, I got nothing going on. So I was like, let me try, like, Geats is out. I gotta review this, okay? Because it's a good episode. Now let's not waste the time. Let's jump right in to episode 35 of Kamen Rider Geats because I really enjoyed it. So I'm really enjoying the fact that the last two episodes have been very character driven and more depth and just not so like kind of it's been stagnant for a bit there, but now we're finally getting some character changes like with Ace and Kawa and this and that. Well, so it's not Kawa anyways. I will get into that, but I really enjoyed the dynamic between Nan and Sarah. Like Nan's giving her like the rundown of who all the different Kamen Riders are and the participants. Oh, my cat just like completely knocked over a whole bunch of shit. You okay? Good. I'm recording. Um, so she had like a little picture book with hand drawn things of like the ID cores and like the face and who they are, and like Nan was like Sarah's gonna be like, oh, Ace is a participant. It's like, yeah, that's how he became a star, was his wish. And I like how they're keeping Kawa being a rider secret because she was unconscious from the Buffa fight to realize that, or not from the Buffa fight, from Daichi, because Buffa showed up after, that she didn't see Kawa henshin, so everyone's keeping it a secret. Even Kawa's talking to Kakarot, he's like, keep it from her, because she's joining to basically keep Kawa from being a Kamen Rider. And this whole Desire Royale thing, I was wondering how it was going to work out. Like, do they just fight and that's it? Like, is that all it's going to happen? And I'm curious what happened along the way, because we saw all those ID cores falling from the sky and the mission boxes, but apparently there's only 6 participants left. So I'm like, what the hell happened? Like budget cuts, basically? I don't know. Like, this is a lot has changed in the span of 1 week, but nothing was said. Because we have a submission now, which is going to be over the course of 3 days from noon to sundown, is basically collect ID cores that have been from the Jamato. And I'm like, okay, but the Jamato are a thing again? Because I'm curious how many Jamato are back and how they got the ID cores. But then throughout the episode, when you see them finding ID cores, they're not even in possession of the Jamato. They're hidden under a rock or like in a tree. And I'm like, this is weird. And Kawa can't catch a break, okay? Listen, last episode, he had that whole fiery talk towards Ace. I was like, yeah, we're getting serious, Kawa. He ain't messing around anymore. But no, he's a joke. He's a comedy character in this whole entire episode. He's in the worst camouflage ever, following Neon and Sarah around through a majority of the episode, to the point where Buffa confronts them, and as they're fighting, Buffa's OP. Nothing's gonna happen to him. And Kay was just like henshins, but then he has a magic green screen and is hidden and trips Buffa. And I'm just sitting here like, we're really making Kawa a joke character now. This is not the first time. And even, I don't know, like, okay, let me just say this. I'm happy Daichi's back. I'm one of the few where during the whole Jamato Grand Prix, I didn't like the Disaster arc either, but I like Daichi as a character in the Disaster arc because like I said, I gravitate towards those intellectual knowledge, well-spoken, like those know-it-all characters, like the smart guys. I like that. And this was him in full rare form again. He's, trying to make a deal with Ace to take out Buffa. That doesn't work in his favor, and they end up fighting. And once again, laser boost versus Nash Sparrow with Monster, I thought Ace would have mopped the floor with them, but Daichi escaped. Also, Ace getting the laser riser again from Gene, just strictly from the standpoint of Gene, like, he's like, I'm your supporter after all, first. And I'm like, well, Kekura pointed out that, like, when any person you supported in the past would get eliminated, you just hop to another one. And while, you know, so Gene doesn't care that the Desire Grand Prix will go away, but that's like his thing. Like, I'm just like, that's confusing. That's kind of conflicting with, for me personally, from my perspective of the character and their dynamic. But that doesn't work. So Daichi is now trying to smooth it over with Nan and Sarah, and even they're like, you attacked us. Like, what the hell? And he's like, here, have all these ID cores I just found randomly. And if you happen to win this round, just retire Buffa. So he's just playing the field with towards everyone because he knows Buffa's the biggest threat in this game, and that's smart of him. He's the only one who's looking at it from a logistic standpoint. That's why I like his character. The downside is a Tanuki statue named Ponchichi was on the couch and claiming to be Sarah's supporter. But like I said, Kay was the comedy act now because Kay was behind the couch doing the voice of it. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, that's, I don't, because even at his, as faking the support, he's like, don't trust him. And I'm like, listen, like, this is, and, but the cool thing is, like, everyone knows but Sarah that, like, Kay was back, you know? And I point out, this has been a really good character driven 2 episodes. While the action has been good too, but there's so many moving parts. Like, in subtly, Kekura is definitely up to something because you could see his suit silhouette stalking Sarah when she's walking around outside of the game. We got Daichi scheming. We got Ace, who's just the interaction with him and Michinaga now has been so good because he tosses them, some food, a tuna rice, or that was a beef rice ball, and he's just like, even Michinaga is like shocked. He's like, so we agree, we're on the same page about this right now. Like, we both want the DGP gone, and then it's like, yeah, now that I just want my mother free of this, and Michinaga is just like, oh, so this is what all your stupid wishes were like going towards, and I'm just like, okay. And everyone's getting development, by the way. Everybody. Sumri is talking, and Sewell interjects because Sumri's question his whole Desire Royale and why the riders got to fight each other. And, even he's like, why? You're a navigator. Like, why are you talking? Like, and being disrespectful. And even he brings up, that they're getting ready, like, to leave this world. And after that, like, no one's going to have any memories of this. It's going to be wiped clean. It's just back to normal. And, Sumri doesn't like this at all. Like, she never really liked the riders having to fight each other. That's not what she likes as a navigator. Go way down. So she doesn't, so this is like for her, like, she is not on board at all. So her character changes over all the episodes has been just really good. And then we see like from behind, 2 people approaching her. Obviously from the outfits, and we find out the episode, it's Niram and Punk Jack is back. And I'm like, this is cool. And this was really a Daichi focused episode. And I know he's going to return, even though Buffa beats him. The fighting in that is great, because the whole entire time Daichi set it up so Nan and Sarah are going to go to the lake or riverfront and find some ID cores, and he's talking to Buffa, playing all sides. They, Michinaga, hey, they're going to be over here. Go cull the field, so to speak. But Buffa decides Daichi's the one he wants to get rid of, because, Buffa's all about, people being greedy and this and that for their wishes. So that fight, very one-sided. We got a crazy finish. Buffa was going crazy. Like, I don't even know how to describe this finish. It was like a chainsaw to the back, lifted him up, spun around, crushed him. And then as he's going to get the ID core, when Daichi was taken out. Like Daichi like literally was like, no, this and that, and like Buffa just the way it looked when he pulled ID corn out, I was like, that was perfect. I was like, that's a good thumbnail, and that's gonna be my thumbnail. By the way, and so thanks to that, we have a yeet. Buffa is the gift that keeps on giving us the yeet counter. I'm gonna put it right here. Boom, yeets right here. Hopefully, I can get the Photoshop to work. It might not work, actually. I might not be able to put a yeet counter on there because that's going to be a lot of extra editing. I may have to boot up the old Yoga 2 to try and load up Photoshop to put a yeet, make a yeet counter. But I'm going to put it right here if it does work. And I completely forgot Archimetal, Jamato Archimetal, because he shows up and takes the ID core and he's like, ooh, this will make good fertilizer. And I noticed he was able to do some damage to Buffa because he basically had the power to destroy all Kamen Rider, but Archimetal's not a Kamen Rider. He's a Jamato. So I feel like that's going to be the loophole in this whole entire thing. And like at the end, it was basically, like I said, we saw Punk Jack and Niram. They're now back fully, Soul, or whatever the person's name is, brought them back because Sumeru's questioning why they're there. And they said they're preparing to abandon this world, so it's time to begin those preparations. And I was like, well, we are 35 episodes in, so we're going into the final stretch. Who knows how long this arc is going to be, because they had 3 days for the submission to be done, and at this point 2 days of it has passed. So I'm really curious how long this arc is going to last and what they're going to build into going into what I presume is going to be the final arc after this one. But yeah, I really like this episode. I like when they're focusing on the characters. Damn, my cats are loud. I like when they focus on the characters and show the growth and the changes in all their personalities, like Nan and everything. Like Nan's only motivation right now is as long as Buffa and Ace don't win, she doesn't really care because she wants the DGP to continue until she can get her wish. So I'm just like, everyone has their motivations right now, and I like it so much that I'm hoping we get this style of episode where, yes, there's some action and this and that, but we're pushing these different character narratives forwards without focusing on just one character, even though Daichi was kind of like the main focus of this episode to an extent. But I do like that there's a balance to all these characters, and I'm hoping that continues through the rest of this arc going into the final arc. Because, whatever the final arc is going to be in anything, because it is Kamen Rider Geats, it's going to be very Ace focused. So I'm hoping we at least let all these other characters shine for a bit. Because, like I said, we're 35 episodes in. So I don't know what's going to happen. But that's it for my review of episode 35 of Kamen Rider Geats. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. I'm intrigued. And also last week, because of the computer being down, I didn't get to look at everyone's comment, reply to them. I hate trying to do the comments on the YouTube app on my phone. So if you commented on the last couple of videos, I'll probably on Tuesday go through and look at all the older comments and start replying. Because yeah, it's shit to do on my phone, honestly. But I thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.